Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from. And a couple of days ago, I predicted that Bitcoin could crash. I said it looked bearish, and here we are not even 1 week later, and it has already fallen over $1,000. Now, since then, I've gotten a lot of questions asking what I believe is going to happen next. Where are we going to go from here? Can we get an update video? And that's exactly what this is going to be. So today, we're going to be doing a technical analysis on Bitcoin, explaining where I believe we're going to go from here. You know, are we going to see it go up? Are we going to see further downside? If we do fall down, where are we going to go to next? Where do we see support at? We're going to be answering all those questions in today's video. So if you guys are interested, go and stick around for the video. And do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this, because there is a lot to talk about. Now, first things first, guys, as I mentioned, if you guys have been following us at all, I mentioned this in the Patreon, which gets all access to my information first. And I also mentioned this in the past 2 videos. I had a video titled Bitcoin Could Crash, and I also had a video titled Bitcoin Death Cross, and both of those mentioned why Bitcoin could see a plummet in the very near future, and why I remained bearish over bullish. Now, first things first, why did this happen? Well, you had the whole the Bitcoin Cash scandal that's happening right now with the Bitcoin Cash hard fork. You also had a death cross on your 3-day, and on top of all of that, you saw yourself getting lower highs consistently on your candle chart, which is huge. Now, if we zoom in over here, now that we have fallen, people are asking, all right, you know, that's great, but what's going to happen next? And that's exactly what we're looking at over here as well. We have a bearish pennant forming on a Bitcoin, which is a very bad thing to really see. After you fall down like this and form a pennant, it's usually bearish more than bullish, because this is actually classified almost as a bear flag, because of the fact that you fell down, formed the pennant, and now are probably going to break down towards the downside once again. And in fact, we might even see that play out while we're live on this video. But you're seeing bearish divergence on your 1-hour MACD, signifying that, hey, you had some positive momentum over here, but it's starting to fade off. You tried a second rally, couldn't do it. It was a lower high on your MACD, signifying that you are probably on your way downwards from here. I mean, your RSI reached pretty neutral, but again, even your RSI is seeing lower highs already, even after such a short rally. Now, I think the thing that's most detrimental over here is the fact that we fell so far. We fell over $1,000 without getting a proper bounce. I mean, we barely bounced at all. We bounced maybe, you know, $200, not even $200. So for an over $1,000 drop, for us to only bounce around $200 is not very good. We're seeing almost no buying pressure coming in here, and when you see a fall, a fall as large as this, you would want to see at least some buyers come back into the market. I mean, we've seen this on previous lows, but the fact that no one's buying this up is scary, and the fact that it's consolidating like this and forming a bearish pennant after such a steep drop is, again, pretty alarming over here. Now, this is not anything that's certain. Again, pennants are neutral. However, they can lead one way to another based upon if they fell down and formed the pennant, which is bearish, or if they ran up and then formed the pennant, which would be a bullish pennant. Now, if we're looking at something on a larger time scale, we can go over to the Coinbase exchange, because what that does is that shows us a little bit of a clearer idea of large scale movement, because it's not affected by Tether. Now, here, we're going to go ahead and pull that up real fast, and I can show you guys what I mean by this. Now, if we're looking at the large scale, it's not too bad here. What this does say is, yes, we do have a lot more room to fall, but if we switch this, let's go ahead and switch this over to the 1-day. If we switch this over to the 1-day, what this does is this shows us a pretty nice falling wedge on Bitcoin. Now, good and bad news. Good news, falling wedges are bullish. Bad news is we still have a little whiles to go. Now, if this thing plays out, you're going to see Bitcoin go to around $4,600, maybe $4,500 before it finds some good support, and that would be right over here. And this would make sense, because right around the 5,000, right below the 5,000 range, you do see support over in this area with candle body closing. So with this giant falling wedge forming, if this thing were to play out and get respected, you would see yourself come down to around a $4,500, $4,600 Bitcoin before seeing some really solid support. And right now, there are no signs of stopping on Bitcoin, reaching the lowest point that it has in the past 24 hours, as we're seeing this daily candle continue to grow and develop wicks over here. Now, again, these are just 2 things to play into factor, but with everything happening so far, it would not surprise me if Bitcoin were to fall further. Now, let's go ahead and bring this back over to our Bitfinex exchange, so we can look at our 1-hour candle once again and explain what this pennant could do. Now, let's go ahead and pull this up and drag it over here. Now, with this pennant, what this does is saying, hey, we are getting squeezed over here. We're getting higher lows, lower highs, and now we're at the end of this pennant getting absolutely squeezed. Now, what you could have, it's very rare, but you could have this breakout sideways. Personally, I think it's time. I've been talking to a couple other analysts as well, people on my Discord. If you guys want to join that, that's in the description down below, but also in a couple of other ones. Explaining that, hey, it's either time here. It's either you get some sort of a bounce or you're going to dump more. There's really no it's going to pump here. Now, I've heard some people mention that this could form into a giant inverse head and shoulders and that this thing loops back up and then you have a giant inverse head and shoulder or a cup and handle. I don't even really see that as a viable option. That would be, a miracle to say the least, but I am almost just counting that out at this point, as I don't even think it's a possibility. I think most certainly you are going to break downwards out of this bearish pennant, as I mentioned in the Patreon hours ago, and I think that is your most likely option here. So where do I see Bitcoin going? Well, I think I mentioned it before. I think you're going to head back down to around $4,600 and create new yearly lows. A lot of people probably it's not what they want to hear, but it is the truth. Something that I think is funny, and again, this is going to be a little bit of an off-topic rant, is that when I predicted that this was all going to happen about almost a week ago, I was getting ridiculed and mocked, and people thought I was crazy for calling this. And now that it's actually playing out, I bless the souls of the people who long this, but I never want to see the price go down, but it does present good buying opportunities. So when this does go down, you have to look at this as an unbiased approach. You can't be biased when looking at TA, or else you're going to get absolutely murdered, and that's what this is. As much as I want it to go up here, it's just not probable. And so to the people who think that it can't go down anymore from this, it definitely can, and it can fall a lot harder. Now, again, guys, you could have another $1,000 to go on Bitcoin. It's very possible. I'm not saying it's probable, but at this point, it certainly looks like it's going to fall out of this descending or this pennant over here, the symmetrical triangle, at least towards the downside, and see a little bit of further downside before we at least get some sort of buying pressure. Because the number one rule of trading is supply and demand, and in that if there is not buyers at this range, Bitcoin will fall to somewhere where there are buyers. And if the buyers aren't strong enough here, then it will fall to somewhere where people are comfortable buying it. And until people are comfortable buying it, it will continue to fall. It needs to reach an equilibrium price. And right now, with all the FUD and everything from the whole Bitcoin Cash scandal and the TA saying death cross and bearish divergence, along with the lack of volume, it's just not looking bullish from here as much as I wish it was. So that's going to pretty much go ahead and sum up this video and pretty much sum up what's happening in Bitcoin right now. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it really does help out the channel a lot. And the Patreon, guys, let me go ahead and mention that and plug that at the end of the video, so you guys can get the information side out of this beforehand. Anyway, guys, the Patreon is where I post all this information. All the information that goes into my videos goes even more detail in the Patreon, and it actually gets posted first over there. So if you guys are looking for additional information than what my channel offers, go over to the Patreon, guys. It is $35. It is the way that I get compensated, because YouTube doesn't really pay me anything. I might get like a couple bucks a month from YouTube, but Patreon is really the way that I make money. But also, I give a lot of information about what's happening in cryptocurrency currently, and this actually could be falling downwards right now, actually, as we're speaking. But that is the way to support the channel. Tons of cool stuff over there. You guys can check it out, and I might even do a separate video on that. But once again, guys, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.